Come on now, Alice. When are you going to give up? Are you still refusing to divorce him? Really? After everything I've said to you? What? Don't play dumb with me. You know exactly what you need to do. Me and Drew have known each other since we were kids. We go way back. Way longer than you and him do, anyway. And ever since he had to move away from our town because of his dad's work, we've been in a long-distance romance. And it's been so painful for us to be apart from each other. Sure, maybe he hasn't been contacting me very much lately, but that doesn't change the fact that our feelings for each other are just as strong as they've ever been. And now that a miraculous twist of fate has brought us together, it's only right that we would get married like we've always wanted to. I can picture our wedding, me in my beautiful white dress, him in a dashing tuxedo, and a dartboard with your picture on it. I won't let someone like you steal him away from me, Alice. Drew is mine. He always was mine, and he always will be mine. So stop getting in the way of our love. Divorce him and let us finally be together. Set him free. You know it's the right thing to do. What's miraculous about it? He was always going to move back into town to take over his grandfather's company after he retired. Meanwhile, you stayed in town and married one of your high school classmates, and I seem to recall you've gotten at least a couple of kids now. So, no, it wasn't a twist of fate or anything like that brought us back into town. Drew's grandfather is getting ready to retire, so we moved into town in order to make the transition smoother, that's all. Not to mention, how could you and Drew be in a long-distance romance when you were never in a short-distance romance in the first place? You can lie to yourself about us all you want, Alice, but you know our love is real. It's realer than anything the two of you could ever have. Ours is a love that goes beyond words, beyond actions, beyond distance, beyond time itself. We're soulmates. It was written in the stars that we would move beyond just being childhood friends to being fully fledged lovers. So please, Alice, I am begging you, don't tear us apart. It's already too much for us to bear. If we have to stay apart for any longer, I think it's going to be the end of us. I don't believe this. Look, I feel like I need to nip this in the bud, so I'm going to be as straightforward and frank as possible. Well, spit it out then. Never contact Drew or me ever again. Neither of us want anything to do with you. What? We know that you're famous in this town for being a delusional psychopath. Everyone knows about you and your antics, and we've been experiencing them firsthand for the last few weeks. Who told you that? I want names! Rachel, you are a married woman. Your husband is a successful businessman, and you have 2 children between you. Drew is a married man himself. Think about what impact your actions are having on all of them before you start trying to become a homewrecker. Homewrecker? Who's the homewrecker? The only person around here doing any homewrecking is you. You're the one trying to tear me and my true love Drew apart. The only reason I married my husband is because I gave up on waiting for Drew to come back into town to sweep me off my feet. I feel so sorry for doing that to Drew, and I realize now what a horrible mistake I made. But none of that matters anymore now that Drew has finally come back for me. I just told you, Rachel. Drew did not move back into town to be with you. We moved back into town because Drew will soon be taking over his grandfather's business. That was always our plan. How many times do I need to tell you this for that to sink in? Drew did not come here for you. How many times do I need to tell you, Alice? Obviously, Drew's plan all along was to marry me once it came time for him to take over his grandpa's company. That's the only reasonable conclusion. You haven't said a single reasonable thing to me in the entire time I've known you. You're the unreasonable one, Alice, not me. You're so unreasonable that you can't even see that you're not wanted. Drew gets sick just by looking at that hideous face of yours. Ugh, you make me so mad. What is wrong with you? Why can't you just listen to what I'm telling you? Divorce my Drew right now and get out of our lives forever. We don't want to ever see your face around here again. Hey, Drew, you're working late again today, right? I'll come straight to your office to pick you up, so let me know once you find out exactly when you'll be finishing up.
Uh-oh. Don't tell me, is it her again?
You guessed it, it's your old friend Rachel. She just sent me a barrage of texts with the usual content. And she's currently sitting out in front of our apartment building, waiting for you, I assume.
Oh, for the love of... I have told her countless times that she needs to knock this off. What is wrong with that woman? I'm really glad we went with an apartment building that has a thorough security system. Imagine if we owned our own house and she found the address. There's no telling what she'd do.
Right, locked the front doors, security cameras in every hallway, and an underground parking lot with elevators that go straight into the building.
Okay, thanks for letting me know about that. I'm so sorry you have to deal with this. You have no idea how much trouble she caused me back in middle school. She went around to all the girls in our grade telling them I was her boyfriend and to keep their hands off of me. But to think that she's still keeping this up even after we're both married to other people? She's nuts, that's all there is to it.
Seriously, I used to think that people like her just existed in bad soap operas and corny B movies. It's only been 2 weeks since we moved here, and she's been escalating her harassment every day. You always told me you had a stalker when you were a kid, but I had no idea it was this bad. And when I think about her poor kids and husband and how this must be making them feel, it's all a terrible combination of depressing and scary.
Yeah, that's the worst part for me. About her family, though, I heard an interesting story from an old friend of mine. Apparently, her current marriage was arranged by their parents.
Whoa, an arranged marriage?
At the time, the company her husband runs now was teetering on the brink of bankruptcy, and Rachel's father, an influential businessman in his own right, agreed to supply the company with much-needed funding in exchange for her getting married to the former owner's son.
Wow, that sounds like something medieval European nobility used to do.
Right? It's honestly crazy that either Rachel or her husband consented to it, but for whatever reason they ended up getting married. It gets more interesting, though. Their positions have reversed. Right now, Rachel's dad's company is failing, and her husband's company is the one giving out financial assistance. Seeing as though Rachel's dad did save his company back in the day, it makes sense he would want to return the favor, but it's also a big reason why it would be difficult for him to divorce her. The friend who told me all of this actually is a drinking buddy of Rachel's husband's, and apparently all it takes is a few beers for him to start talking about how badly he wished he had an excuse to get rid of her.
Wow, that is one messy family situation. Yikes.
Right, but knowing how much of a disaster area Rachel is, I can't say I blame him.
Seriously.
Okay, well, I gotta get back to work now, Alice.
Oh, right, you're at work now. I'm sorry, honey, I'll let you go.
Nah, it's fine. I should be thanking you. All I've got left on my plate today is some last-minute preparation for my business trip next week, so I'll probably be leaving in about an hour. I'll call you when I know for sure.
Gotcha. Talk to you later. Tick-tock, Alice. Every day is one day closer to the day Drew and I will finally be together. There you are, Rachel. What's up with the stack of divorce papers you left on our mailbox? Huh? What do you mean? You know what I mean. You left a stack of divorce papers in our mailbox with your signature on it. Just what do you think you're doing, Rachel? I don't get this at all. Oh, oopsie-doopsie. Looks like I switched the envelopes. I guess the one I gave to my husband was the one I meant to give to you, and the one you have right now is the one I was supposed to give to my husband. What? I guess I should have probably written something on the envelope so I could identify them easier. Would you mind meeting up with my husband and trading envelopes? Hold on. Does this mean that you actually intended to divorce your husband? Of course. Drew is finally signaling to me that he's gonna leave you for me, and that gave me the courage I needed to kick my useless husband to the curb. This is giving me a headache. Exactly how is Drew signaling anything to you? I know everything, Alice. Drew's going out of town on business today, right? Oh, and don't bother trying to hide it. Your daughter told my son all about it at daycare yesterday. I mean, yes, he is, but what does that have to do with anything? Aw, you poor thing. You really don't get it, do you? Drew used your daughter to get a message to me through my son. He wanted me to know. Sure, he's telling you it's for business, but the truth is that he's using it as cover to finally be together with me. No, it's just an ordinary business trip. How can you be this delusional? You're just telling yourself that to cope with the shame and sadness of your husband abandoning you. But you finally get it now, don't you? After decades of waiting, Drew and I are finally going to be united in love this very night. I know my words are falling on deaf ears right now, but every single thing that you just said is a bunch of deranged, delusional, psychopathic nonsense. You really are determined to deny reality, aren't you? But you're too late. I just checked into the same hotel where Drew is staying. You what? I can't believe this is actually happening. Yeah, I followed him in his car all the way here. I know he was expecting me, but I still wanted it to be a surprise. Okay, this has just moved beyond annoying and into the realm of positively terrifying. Don't you dare go near Drew, do you hear me? I'm just glad they had open rooms available. I don't know what I would have done if they were fully booked. I wonder what Drew's gonna say when he proposes to me. What should I wear? Oh, I'm so excited! But my first order of business is to find Drew's room. I bet he's booked one of the big fancy suites for us to spend our first night in. Drew, are you in your hotel room right now?
Hey, Alice. Yeah, I am. I just checked in a little while ago. I've got some free time in the evening, so I thought I'd step out of my room for a little bit and take a walk to unwind from the trip.
Don't. Drew, whatever you do, do not leave your room. Lock the door right now.
What's wrong, Alice?
Rachel followed you, Drew. She just rented a room at the same hotel as you. She's out there looking for your room right now. You cannot let her find you. She is out of her frickin' mind.
Are you serious?
Yes, she told me about it by text just now. I don't think she knows what your room number is yet, but you need to make sure she doesn't find out, no matter what.
Okay, I got it, Alice. My God in heaven, she followed me all the way out here. I was joking when I called her my stalker in middle school, but now she's gone and proved me right.
Hey, what are you doing here, Alice? Did you come here just to get in our way again? For the record, Rachel, I was planning on staying the night here with Drew from the get-go. This isn't anything we decided on the spur of the moment or anything. Liar! The only reason we arrived separately is because I had some business to attend to before coming over here. Then what is going on? Explain yourself! One of our client companies is celebrating the 30th anniversary of their founding, and they're having the party at this hotel tomorrow. They invited Drew as the successor to his grandfather's company, and Drew asked me to accompany him. But why would he want you to come along? Drew's grandfather always had his wife attend these sorts of social events with him in order to have a closer, more familial relationship with his business partners. Since Drew will be taking over for his grandfather soon, he wants me to do the same. I don't understand. Let me put this to you in the simplest terms possible. Drew is introducing me to his clients as his wife. That's not... One more thing. I'm pregnant with our second child right now. No, that can't be! I hope this should all make it very clear that Drew has zero interest in leaving me or marrying you. Well, do you get it now, Rachel? But Drew is mine! Good morning, Alice. I'm not too thrilled to say this, but I've decided to allow you to stay married to Drew. Also, if it makes you feel better, I'll let you think that I was mistaken that Drew was going to propose to me. How generous of you. Oh, and one more thing. Those divorce papers I left at your house, you can throw them away for me. I was a bit flustered at the time, but now that I think about it, I'm quite lucky I gave those to you by mistake. If I had actually given them to my husband, he might have actually divorced me. Yeah, about those divorce papers, your husband told me that he's already submitted them to the courthouse. What? He submitted them? Yep, he just told me about that this morning. Oh no. You see, before I headed over to the hotel yesterday, I stopped by your house to deliver the divorce papers to your husband, just like you asked me to do. I handed him the signed papers, explained the situation, and had a little chat with him before I headed off. You what? He said he would call your parents and his together for a more in-depth discussion as soon as possible. And that's the last thing I've heard about the situation, so if you want to know more about why he chose to submit them, you'll have to ask him. What's going on? Why? How could something like this happen to me? Do you need to ask me? Think about it, Rachel. One thing I will tell you, though, is that Drew is absolutely disgusted by your psychopathic stalking of him. Stalking? That's nonsense. I have done no such thing. We told you time after time after time to leave us alone, but you not only kept telling me to divorce my husband, you followed him to his hotel in another city. What do you call that if not stalking? But I love him! The feeling isn't mutual. Goodbye, Rachel. Rachel's husband finally found the excuse to get rid of her that he'd been waiting for. While it may have been a one-sided obsession on Rachel's part, the fact remains that she was about to leave her husband for another man. He called both sets of parents together right away. He quickly laid out the reason for the divorce and had his lawyer take care of everything immediately. In the ensuing divorce proceedings, full custody of both of their children was awarded to Rachel's husband, and any property division or alimony that would have gone her way was eliminated due to her indefensible and incomprehensible behavior. At the same time, the funding that was being provided to Rachel's father's company was cut off, and 6 months later, the company went bankrupt. I ran into Rachel in town the other day, though she looked like she had aged about 20 years since I last saw her. From what I hear, she's been working all sorts of unpleasant jobs in order to both keep herself out of the poorhouse and help her dad pay off his debts. She turned and ran away as soon as she saw me, presumably out of shame. Now that we're free of her psychopathic obsession and disturbing delusions, my husband Drew and I have finally found some peace in our lives.
Harriet, what's going on? I heard that you and my son won't be coming to our house for Christmas this year. Is that true?
Oh, good evening, Dad. Well, yes, it's true. Curtis and I talked about it for a while, and we decided that we would spend Christmas at home this year instead of going over to your place.
I don't believe this. Why would you go and do a thing like that?
Well, haven't you seen the weather reports? We're supposed to get a once-in-a-decade blizzard on Christmas Eve. A lot of the stores around here are already announcing that they're not going to be open for either the 24th or the 25th out of fear for their employees' safety. It's pretty serious. We just feel like we'd rather not take the risk and go visit you guys on another day instead.
I cannot believe what I'm hearing. You think you're worthy of marrying into our family with an attitude like that? I should have known this is what you would be like when you refused to build a duplex with us before you and Curtis got married. Not only that, you had the nerve to continue working after your wedding when you should have quit in order to take care of my son's home for him and give me grandchildren. I am so disappointed in you as a daughter-in-law, Harriet. I don't know what that fool son of mine saw in you. Now you're telling me that you're not going to come to my house on Christmas because of a little bit of snow? It's not like you've never seen the stuff before.
Dad? Have you really not noticed how much it bothers Curtis when you say things like that to me? I'm sure he's talked to you about it before and told you to back off.
Excuse me?
And for the record, it wasn't me who first came up with the idea to spend Christmas at home this year. It was Curtis.
That's not true.
Also, Curtis was the one who first came out against your proposal of building a duplex together, not me. And once again, it was Curtis who encouraged me to keep working at my same job after getting married. He's been very supportive of me and my career aspirations.
What a load of nonsense!
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm actually out of town on business at the moment, so I'll be taking my leave.
What? Your company sends the women on business trips? Don't they know you have more important things to be doing at home?
Well, Curtis and I both share housework duties, and I'm the person in charge of this region, so...
This conversation isn't over. We still have a lot of things to discuss, Harriet.
I have to get up early tomorrow morning, so I'm going to bed now.
Harriet! It's precisely this bratty, rebellious attitude of yours that made me oppose you marrying my son in the first place. I always told Curtis that he made an unbelievable mistake in marrying you instead of Charity. They've known each other since they were kids. They understand each other. They grew up in the same town, share the same culture. They're the perfect match. What was that imbecile thinking, choosing you over her? My only wish is that there was some way for me to get him to divorce you. How I'd love to be able to look Charity in the face and call her my daughter-in-law.
Mr. Wainwright, are you there? It's an emergency.
Oh, if it isn't my darling little Charity! Are you trying to get in touch with Curtis? At this time of day, I'm pretty sure he's at work. Can I give him a message for you?
No, this is about Curtis. He's been taken to the hospital.
What? What in the world happened to him? The hospital?
Curtis and I were going to meet up for lunch today. I was at the cafe waiting for them to arrive, and I saw Curtis across the street coming toward me, right? When all of a sudden a car drove straight through a red light and ran right into Curtis.
Oh no, that's terrible.
It looks like more than one person was injured in the crash because 2 ambulances arrived on the scene a short while later. I was on the scene, so I volunteered to go to the hospital together in the ambulance Curtis was loaded into.
What hospital were you taken to, Charity?
It's Western General Hospital, the one on North Franklin Drive. Please, Mr. Wainwright, hurry over here as fast as you can.
Got it! I'll tell my wife we'll be there soon. Harriet, what do you think you're doing? Exactly when are you planning on coming to see Curtis at the hospital? In all the time he's been here, you haven't come by to see him one single solitary time. Have you no shame? Don't you feel any responsibility to be here with him? Let me state this as simply as possible. Your husband is in the hospital, Harriet. And you, his wife, have not come by to see him a single time. Are you insane? Not only haven't you come by, you haven't even tried to contact him. He could have died for all you know. Oh, but not to worry. While you've been shirking your responsibilities as the wife of my son, Charity, a superior woman to you in every way imaginable, has been coming down here almost every day to visit him and check up on his condition. Every day that goes by, you make me more and more convinced that I'm right. Charity would make a far better wife for Curtis than you ever could. Hello there, Charity. I'm terribly sorry to have shouldered you with the burden of looking after Curtis for us. The restaurant we run is very small. There's only my wife, myself, and a few part-time staffers. If we're not there to handle things, then we'd have to shut it down, and we obviously can't do that. If our restaurant were a bit closer, then we'd at least be able to stop by from time to time, but unfortunately, we're on the opposite side of town.
It's fine, Mr. Wainwright. Don't worry about it. After all, I'd do anything to be able to spend more time with Curtis. This is like a dream come true.
I'm glad to hear that. You know, Charity, you really are one fine young woman. Generous, caring, self-sacrificing. Nothing at all like that heartless, soulless, worthless Harriet.
Speaking of Harriet, do you know what's going on with her? As far as I can tell, she hasn't even come by the hospital once to see him.
I thought that was the case. I can't even get in touch with her. She won't answer texts or calls. Her parents have already passed away, and I don't know the contact information of any of her other family members, so the only thing I can do is wait for her to respond. There's no other way for us to figure out exactly what the hell she's doing. But since she's his wife, I assume she's his emergency contact, so there's no way she doesn't know about his accident. Seriously, what is wrong with that girl?
You know what I think? I think she's using this as an opportunity to do what she's always wanted to do, but couldn't because Curtis was around. You know what I mean?
What?
Curtis is so ridiculously trusting of her. No matter how many times I try to tell him about her, he's just like, no way, Harriet's not like that. She would never do that to me. It's pathetic. I mean, think about it. Not only has Harriet not been over here, but she hasn't even gone back to their house yet all this time.
Wait, really? You're sure? Wow, I should have expected that was the case, but to hear that it's actually true is too sad to bear.
Don't you think it's time we made our move and got them to divorce? I mean, it pains me so much to see Curtis pining after such an unfaithful wife.
Yes, Charity, you're exactly right. The time has come. It's time that my son got the wife he deserves. You! Hello, Harriet. I'm writing to let you know that I've talked it over with my wife, and we've decided that you do not deserve to be married to our son. Not only have you not come to the hospital for the entire time he's been hospitalized, you're off doing who knows what in who knows where and haven't even been back to your house. Furthermore, you have yet to respond to or even read a single one of my messages. As such, we have determined that the only way forward is for you to leave. You're going to divorce my son as soon as possible.
Hello to you too, Dad. I'm sorry it's taken me so long to get back to you.
There you are. I suppose once I brought the D word into the picture, you realized I meant business. But you're too late, Harriet. There's no changing my mind now. My decision is final.
Let's back up a bit, shall we? First order of business. I've been staying in the exact same hospital as Curtis this entire time.
What? Wait just one moment. What do you mean you've been staying at the hospital? As in you've been renting a room nearby?
No, I mean I've been hospitalized. I was the other person injured in the crash involving Curtis. And the driver who ran a stoplight?
You were?
It looks like you're under a massive misunderstanding, so allow me to explain things from the beginning in the simplest terms possible. First, I was in the intensive care unit for the first few days of my time in the hospital. I've been cleared to leave the ICU and am now in a regular room, so I was finally able to get my phone repaired recently, which was heavily damaged in the crash. It just came back to me yesterday, but I suffered some serious injuries to my hands, so I haven't been able to type by myself. The messages that are being sent to you right now are being written by a friend of mine who came to see me today, as that's the only way I would be able to reply to you.
But that doesn't make any sense. If you've been here this whole time, why hasn't Curtis said anything about it? He's had ample opportunity.
Yes, well, there's a very, very good reason for that. Charity, who's been clinging on to Curtis like a fly in molasses since the time we were dating and sees me as her mortal enemy, has been in the room with him every day and practically never leaves his side.
What? Charity?
It also seems as though she's invited herself to stay at our home while she's here. If she knew that I was here at the same hospital, there is no telling what she might try to do to me in my current state. So he thought it would be best for me to just keep quiet about it. I asked the doctors to transfer me to a different hospital to avoid this problem, but they said there was no way they would be able to safely transfer me in my condition. So we went with Plan B. I asked the doctors to instead transfer me to a private room within the hospital and leave a standing order to refuse visitors without express permission from me.
That's...
By the way, the only reason I'm able to reveal this all to you right now is because Charity's parents have also arrived and they're keeping tabs on her for me.
What? Her parents?
I understand that Charity, when Charity told you about the accident, she told you that another driver ran a red light and struck Curtis as he was walking, is that right? But that's not what really happened. No, the truth is that while Curtis was waiting for the pedestrian stoplight to turn green, he was pushed from behind into the road, and that's when he was hit by that car. So the car wasn't at fault at all, it was the person who pushed him.
What? You mean someone was essentially trying to murder Curtis? Who was it? Who's responsible for this? I'll see to it personally that they're brought to justice.
It was Charity.
Charity?
In her defense, it seems that she was just so happy to see Curtis that she started sprinting towards him, and when she wasn't able to hit the brakes, she rammed right into him. Charity's on the small side, but an adult running at that rate of speed was enough to push Curtis off balance, so he fell face first into the road.
That's unbelievable!
There's more. I was actually with Curtis at the time of the accident.
Oh?
And because we were holding hands when Charity pushed him, I got pulled into the road right alongside him. I don't think what happens next needs any explanation, so I'll just skip that part.
Yes, I think I get the picture.
As for what happens next, I'll have to talk with Curtis about the details, but we're planning to file a police report.
A police report? You mean you're pressing charges?
We've been contacted by multiple witnesses who were there the day of the accident, so there's really no escaping this for Charity. She's the one responsible for what happened to us.
I see.
That's all the time I have to speak to you today.
What? What's going on?
Nothing, it's just that the friend who's typing these messages for me has to go to work tomorrow morning, so she's going home now. My intention was only to clear up any misconceptions you may have had about what really happened. We can discuss the more minor details at a later time, so we'll have to continue this conversation another day. Good night.
Charity. I just spoke to Harriet. She told me about what really happened. If your parents are taking charge of you, I suppose you won't be able to respond to any of my messages. I can't believe it. It wasn't a car running a red light. You just rammed into Curtis so hard that he fell right into the road. I had such a hard time believing it that I talked to your parents directly, and they confirmed that everything Harriet said was true. And to think I was trying to get Curtis to marry you. I had no idea you were such a psychopath. Oh, my dear God in heaven, this is absolutely terrible. Harriet, what's the meaning of this? Curtis said he's going to legally change his last name to yours? He even sent us a letter declaring that he no longer wants to have anything to do with us. He's disowning us as his parents. Please, Harriet, I'm begging you, you've got to talk to him. Do something about this. Talk some sense into him. Please, Harriet. Curtis is my only son. I was planning on having him take over the family business, but now he's disowning me? What am I going to do? Look, I'll accept your marriage to my son. I'll accept you as my daughter-in-law. I'll accept you as part of the family. I'll even allow you to keep working, and you can go out of town on business as much as you'd like. Oh, and I'll also compromise and have you and Curtis do an 80-20 split on the housework. So please, you need to convince Curtis not to disown us and get him to reconsider changing his last name. He can't just get rid of his last name. That's my family name. When she read the letter, my wife was so shocked that she fell down and threw out her back. Harriet, answer me, please. I'm begging you. Give my son back to me, Harriet.
Soon after Charity's parents took custody of her, the friend who had been coming to the hospital to check on me stopped by our house to see what state she had left it in. I was not entirely surprised to hear that every single thing that had anything to do with me had been damaged or destroyed entirely. There was more than enough for my friend to realize that we would no longer be safe in our own home, cleaned up the mess and removed all of our valuables to a safe location. Additionally, she's also arranging for an apartment to live in temporarily until we can find a new house. Now, since Charity obviously has no money of her own, her parents ended up footing the bill for all the money she owed us to repair the damage she caused, as well as moving expenses. As I told my father-in-law, we also submitted a police report and are pressing charges against her for breaking and entering, property damage, assault, and a litany of other crimes. We won't be settling out of court with her under any circumstances. We're seeing to it that she's put away for a very, very long time. A few months after that, Curtis and I were finally released from the hospital. The same friend who helped us find a new apartment also assisted us in restarting our lives in a new location, including helping us secure jobs similar to what we were doing before at her company. Faced with the unmoving determination of his son to abandon the family business, his father made the heartbreaking decision to simply close down the restaurant that he had worked all his life to build into a successful venture. As for us, however, We finally found peace in our new lives away from all the deeply troubled people in our past.